All right, let's talk about. I guess they were reading the news of. Tyrese outbreak yesterday. Is that the right English? I guess outbreak from yesterday, right? So talk about Tyrese again, right? And then there's this lady, Claudia Jordan, had something to say about it, and I shared that in the group yesterday. But let me see. She has said, "Hola, if the clip you showed in the group chat about Tyrese's prenup stating that the child support amount he's crying about is actually in the prenup, then Tyrese is running mad." Yes, so that's something that this lady is going to speak to about the prenup, okay? But let me hear what she has to say, and I will take it from there.
Supersede the prenup.
I'm going to call
These cases, supersede the prenup.
I'm going to call Cap on this.
Okay.
Okay, because I had a conversation with Samantha.
All right, so she's calling Cap on it. Not too many people have had conversations with Samantha, who is Tyrese's ex-wife. They went through a divorce. Quick update. They went through a divorce, and Tyrese has been dragging his ex-wife on the internet. I am yet to see the ex-wife drag him with his name. She might have said one or two things here, but I haven't seen her mention the name. There might be one video out there, I'm not sure, But bottom line is that Tyrese is doing a very good job dragging his ex-wife on the internet, okay? And one of the issues is that he thinks like $20,000 is too much, because if he's paying $20,000 when he never had to pay $20,000 to raise the child when the child was less than 1 year old in the house, why should he pay $20,000 outside the house? Answer that question. Let me see what you have to say in the chat. If you didn't spend $20,000 in the house, right, when the child was living in the house, why should he pay child support $20,000 per month outside of the house? Let me see what the chat is saying before I continue here. Can you please say something? Two people say something. Let me see why should he have to pay $20,000 in child support, right? He can afford it, okay? We know that part, right? That he can afford it, right? But why pay $20,000 if I didn't have to pay $20,000 to raise that child inside of the house? Does that make sense to anybody here? Some of you are lawyers. You might be able to speak a little bit more to this. Speak to it. Let me get two people to speak to it when I continue the video, okay?
And she said, "I'm only fighting for him to go with the prenup. Like, just go with what's in the prenup."
So Samantha is claiming, according to Claudia, that she's only fighting for Tyrese to go with what is inside of the prenup, right? The verbiage inside of a prenup, the legal verbiage in the prenup might be confusing. People interpret it. It's like the scriptures. What? Well, it's kind of like legal languages that two people might interpret different. That's why they have lawyers. This is why they have arguments and they have hearings and stuff like that, so they can hear both sides and see which one makes more sense. This legal language is not perfect, right? It's not designed to be perfect. It's designed to be as accurate as possible, but people still find loopholes where the loopholes is usually around interpretations, right? So she's claiming that, hey, I want him to go with what's in the prenup. And she's claiming that it's Tyrese that's trying to crack the code in that prenup, right? And now they've spent so much money. A lot of the $450,000 that he claimed is being levied against him is basically legal fees, all right? Spent so much money. Why are they spending all the money in the world to try to crack this prenup? I don't know who is trying to crack it. Is it Tyrese or Samantha, right? All right, let's continue the video a little bit.
I'm not asking for anything more or less. And she's like, "This is all BS. It's $20,000 a month." She said it's all BS. Now that's what she told me. I haven't spoken to him about it. I don't know him like that, but I spoke to her, and she said she's just fighting for him to keep his word and just honor the prenup that they had, because it was all spelled out.
Oh, he's gonna give you some bars later on then.
Well,
Tyrese is gonna give you some bars.
So now they're saying Tyrese is going to come for her later on. He might. He probably did already.
Well,
Tyrese is gonna give you some bars later on.
Tyrese, I'm not worried about you giving me bars, because we can have bars back and forth.
Uh-oh.
You're not a rapper, neither am I, so we can just have bars.
Uh-oh.
But I'm just going by what your ex-wife told me that you probably still want. All right, following the interview, Samantha shared this message.
All right, so that's that about that. But let me see. Okay, D-Love says something. 2 separate household and bills, also maintaining a similar lifestyle as the child had. Exactly. Right? And if you, first of all, you make sense out of this before you try to fight it. You can't fight something that you're actively trying to be unrealistic about. You can't fight something that is the reality without first of all acknowledging that it's the reality. Okay? You're giving your power away, literally, to the other side, because all they have to do is claim that you're insane, that you don't know what you're talking about. And all they have to do is get the judge to see that you don't know what you're talking about. That's what they have to do now. You make the job easier for them when you try to pretend like this is not a 2 different household, when you try to pretend that another adult have not decided to gain agency, autonomy of their own life and say, you know what? Well, I have the custody. I have a whole different household because we couldn't make it work, right? Well, I had a certain type of lifestyle that we had before. Our child is still involved. So the child, particularly the child, not me, the child must maintain the same level of lifestyle. If you put a child in a different household and you're Tyrese's daughter, right? What do you expect is going to happen? Now, you need to acknowledge that first of all, at least in your own head. Okay, you don't have to come out and acknowledge it to everybody like you're a weakling. I'm sure you don't want to come up as weak, but you need to at least see that as what it is before you can tackle it, right? So you can tackle it in a way that's realistic. You have to get the other side, or the judge, or the umpire rather, to see your own side that, okay, that's not fair, right? But if your own measurement, if you completely discount this and act like this is not a real thing, they're going to look at you like a lunatic, right? So it's unreal. So in terms of who's trying to crack the code, I believe what Claudia is saying. I believe that. It's not as simple as somebody's trying to crack your ironclad prenup. It's not that simple. There's something to it. That prenup was not. It's clearly, listen, the reality is that prenup was not strong enough. That's the reality. But I keep telling you about prenups, right? Prenup can only go so far. Prenup can only protect you so far. Even financially right now, that prenup has failed to protect Tyrese. How's that for a reality? Because we like to speak in realities, right? That's the result that we have. Until it changes, then we can come back and talk about it at some point. All right, I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.